Alright everybody, Scorpion here. So we got a Hewlett-Packard screen off the laptop. So I've already done the bottom portion, the keyboard and all that stuff. This is normally what it looks like if you separate them the correct way. And sometimes I just bend them backwards and break them off. It doesn't really matter. You know, a couple little wires and stuff. But I'm going to show y'all what I do with it and my suggestion. But it's not everybody's suggestion. Everybody does stuff differently. So y'all stay tuned a few minutes and we'll be back with you.
Rock bottle on the track, boy.
Alright, so normally what I do, and I missed it on this one, is I grab these wires and I cut them off and I separate everything else out. Like so. And that's when I separate this from the bottom. Now these, and I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see this, the insides of those are gold. So I normally cut those ends off like this, and then drop the wire in the wire bag. This connector here is gold and this connector here is gold. So most of your stuff going up to your screens have gold on them, where they plug in the bottom part of the laptop, trying to get that HD and you know, that nice feeling up there. Feeling. Picture. So I go ahead and cut the fingers off of that one. And I cut the fingers off of this one and drop these with the wires. So that's 4 connectors for the 4 wires that go up to the screen on the laptop. Most of the time they're all gold. So each one of these screens comes apart differently. Some of them you have to go to the side and pop them apart. This one's really thin and didn't really have anything to show you where to pop it apart at. So let's see what we got here. And all of them are wired a little bit differently. And it also depends on what type of screen it is, so you know. But most of them, depending on what type of screen it might be, they could have stuff going up the side or here with these little tabs, and it's going to be gold on one side and connected on the other. This right here is actually going to be gold, if you can see it, where it connects to the back of the screen. So I'll finish that in a minute. We should be able to strip this down further. So now a lot of people don't scrap these just because it's not worth their time, and I have to agree with them. I mean, for what you get out of it, I mean, this part probably isn't really worth your time in the grand scheme of things, but I like to scrap these because there's quite a bit of gold here. When stuff wants to cooperate, it is anyway. There we go. this end, we do have screw here. And this is why I have fingernails. Without fingernails, some of this stuff I would not be able to do, or it would take me even longer. But most of the time these screens are kind of lightly fixed into the plastic that surrounds them. A couple screws and they're loose. So let's see if we can't get this out here. See, and that's it. So up here, yep, these are gold coated wires. So me being me, I want this off of there so I can get those. So there we go. Well, that wasn't exactly supposed to happen, but anyway, I got what I wanted. And make it a little bit easier for me to show y'all. So a lot of times, or most of the time, you'll see that the wires go underneath glass. Get up there closer. And these are gold coated. So where I thought this was plastic, I guess not. But these wires do have gold on them where they connected here. So normally I will just cut them off right next to the glass, and what's underneath the glass or where the glass goes together is normally where it runs in at. I don't worry about trying to separate that. I just cut that gold end off, because separating the glass you end up with what just happened, and it, you know, blew up in my face. So if y'all give me just a minute, I'm going to clean this glass up and I'll be right back. Alright, one more thing before I toss this out. If y'all look here, see if it'll focus. These little things are normally brass, but they're stuck in the plastic. You can cut the plastic and get them out if you love your brass that much, but it takes quite a while to make that happen and to get them. And they're tiny. They're just there to make the screw hold. So I don't mess with them. So again, where we were before I made that awesome mess. Just cutting those gold ends off right there. So maybe. Alright, I'll set them back there. Alright. Now, hopefully I'm done making a mess. So here's the rescue screen. Back side of it, you got a strip up here. So that's the part that's coated in that first thing that I was tearing up. And if you can get that off and out the way, that helps. And as you can see, there's gold up here on these. And on the back side, again, it's gold. So, all of them are different. Some of them you can just flip the little thing and the tab comes out. Some of them, they're like glued to it. It all depends. So, pull that wire loose. And take these two screws out. And then I start pulling everything off. So these are just attached, like soldered to the board. So I normally just grab the board and flip it over and pull it off backwards. Take them off that way. Now, by weight, this board's not going to weigh anything. So personally, I think I should set it over here with the rest of the stuff that I hold for gold recovery. As you can see, these tabs, they go right up underneath the screen, right into it. So the only thing you can do with those is cut them off. Now, I normally try to cut them off as close as I can. If it's a flat screen TV, everything tends to be a lot bigger. I know what y'all are thinking. Get your mind out together. And that was shot all the way over there. So there's those. And then you've got this, which looks like it's running right down the inside here. So that's got me curious. It's got gold on the end here. So I'm kind of curious to see exactly where this is running to and how far that's running, because it looks like it's it right here too. So, me being a curious person, I'm going to check it out. Probably going to cause a bigger mess, because that's what I normally do. But sometimes it's worth it, and sometimes it is not. You don't ever know if you don't try. So let me see what I got here. So I mean, really, see, I busted that screen, but it's not quite the same thing, so I'm going to cut into the screen on both sides and cut this bracket, because I just have to know. I need a better look. There it goes. So this comes through right here. So it's going to be a light strip inside of here. This is what gives the screen light. It looks like it's LED, so it's not going to really do me much good to really try to do that. So I'll just pull this off, cut the little gold tip off of it, put the rest with the computer wire there. All this goes to the trash. So now I have this, this. Alright, so I've got two here that I cut, gold fingers, which they're not really I call them gold fingers. I don't see much difference between this and the circuit boards. And I've got this one. So these, I normally just cut the part off that was connected to the circuit board, where I flipped the circuit board over backwards. I normally just cut that part off, because that's the part with the gold on it. So I drop those in with the gold that I have separate, and I drop these in with the wires. Flip it over this way so I can see better. And I mean, some of the stuff, you can see this stuff is getting small. I'm being picky, but I mean, gold's expensive, you know. So if I can collect $1 worth of gold here, I'll take my $1 worth of gold, or 10 cents or whatever. Easy for me to get a hold of. Just takes a minute. And I'm gonna collect my gold that way from scrapping stuff, because I can't really afford to buy it. I'm gonna take the rest of this bracket out, because that's aluminum, not plastic. So if I remove the rest of this, I can send that in for aluminum and get weight for that, like I did with the bottom half of it. And a lot of these come in aluminum cases. That helps protect all your components inside and all that stuff. So y'all bear with me a minute here, and I'll see if I can't get all these screws taken out. I do a lot of this in the middle of the night. That's another reason why I don't use a drill most of the time. I can do this at night and be quiet, and don't have to worry about bothering people that are trying to sleep. Like this morning, I went to bed at like 5 a.m. Of course, the gas company wanted to show up at 7:30 and wake me up. Wanted me to hold their hand. Really not sure why, but whatever. It's probably because they just knew I was up all night. But from the last video, I finished up all those hard drives that I picked up the other day, and the DVD drives. So all those are done and taken care of. I do try to keep these kind of short for y'all.
Wow, are you hungry?
Let's see if I can get this to release. There we go.
Sit down.
Throw both of those into the shred there. All that plastic. And you've got those, you know, brass fittings in this stuff. At this point, I'm just going to try to strip this plastic and all off of here, so it's as clean as possible, so I can get the proper amount of money for it. There's not really much more on here that's really got that much value. Make sure I've traced all these wires. Yeah, so this goes up here to the top. I believe it's just a sensor, so it knows when you've closed the laptop. Oh, wait a minute now. That's the camera. Now I was about to let y'all go. So this has got a camera. It's got a webcam. Your cameras have gold in them. So I peel those and put those separate. One day I'll mess with them, but until then, It's not that big of a deal to me. I'll get around to them sometime. But the board that it's on, as you can see, also has gold lining the outside. So I'll keep all this stuff separate. I'll drop the camera with the cameras. These boards is what I want to take gold off of. And that's it. This case will go as aluminum once I pull this plastic off. And the plastic back here. And that's all it is to it. So I just want to show y'all, you know, scrapping out the screen part in case you've never done one. They're all a little bit different. Gold connector right there as well. So board sort right now, as of last night, we're paying $1 a pound for the gold connectors. The ones that are not gold, that just all depends upon where you're taking it. Some will say leave it on the wire, and some will say cut it off. They're not giving you nothing for it. So, all right, y'all have a good one, and we'll catch you in the next video.